Hello, welcome back to Ben Leo Tonight. Now, an expected 2 million people will descend on West London over this bank holiday weekend for Notting Hill Carnival. It's an event that's been, once again, marred in controversy the year before it's even begun, because the Met Police has admitted that it's preparing for a, quote, deadly crowd crush that could cause mass casualties. And this follows pre-carnival operations earlier this week in which more than 100 people were arrested. 11 firearms and more than 40 bladed weapons were recovered. Over 7,000 officers will be deployed over this weekend, with reports many fear being attacked, as last year there were 53 assaults on emergency workers. Last year there were also 8 reported stabbings, 1 man was beaten to death, and a young mother was killed by a man brandishing a zombie knife in an unprovoked attack on the so-called family day of the carnival. Her parents have spoken out, that poor lady who died, ahead of this year's event, calling it unmanageable and unsafe. So the big question is it time that we ban the event from ever going ahead again? Well, I'm joined now in the studio by broadcaster Rafe Heydel-Mankoo and the former chair of Haringey Independent Stop and Search Monitoring Group, Ken Hines. Good evening, chaps. Nice to see you both in the studio. Ken, I like your attire. A nod to this weekend's festivities?
Absolutely. I'm getting ready to get back in touch with my ancestors. Once a year, it's a deep attachment I have, and Notting Hill Carnival seems to be where the roots are.
OK. I appreciate that. I feel you. However, there was big concern about the carnival. 2 people died last year, arrests, guns, all sorts going on. What do you make of the calls for the carnival to be banned?
First of all, my deepest condolence goes out to the people who have been lost their lives and those who have come across injuries through to the carnival. But to say and to stop something that's got such deep roots in Notting Hill, in a sense, and for me, it goes further back. It's a connection between my Caribbean roots and African roots. That's what the carnival envisages. And carnival, what makes carnival different is not in a field. It goes in the streets, around the streets. It can be, and it should be, better organised. My thing is that for far too long, we've had weak leadership.
OK.
And it's been the key of the problem that Carnival is now facing.
Rafe, is it not the case that if this were a annual sort of, I don't know, anti-illegal migration protest or even a football gathering where people were getting knifed every other year and people were dying and there was, 7,000 coppers on the streets, I think it cost something like £12 million to police last year, it would be scrapped straight away, wouldn't it? Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, I'm afraid this is just another example of two-tier policing, actually, because it's, well, for example, did you know last year at the Notting Hill Carnival, more police were assaulted and injured there than in the Southport protests. But, of course, the authorities were very quick to condemn utterly the Southport protests, whilst consistently, downplaying and ignoring the violence at Notting Hill. And, of course, yeah, you're quite right. If the same things happened at an annual St George's Day parade or an annual sporting fixture, the same level of violence, criminality, shooting, sexual assaults, murders, overcrowding, they would quite rightly be banned. The reason it's not is because, the Notting Hill Carnival has become a sacred festival in the Church of Diversity, which is, the new state religion, and has got the status now of a holy weekend, and it's being used to perpetuate this myth that diversity built Britain, that multiculturalism is a huge success story. I'm afraid that's not the case. People that I know that live in the area call it the Notting Hill Carnival, and, in Florida, people board up their houses, they board up their shops, and they flee their homes when there's a hurricane arriving. People do that in Notting Hill when it's the carnival arriving, which I think speaks volumes about it.
Personally, as I said, the people who brought in those big houses in Notting Hill brought it in with the condition to know that festival happened annually. So if they're now crying foul, that's shame on them, because they should do their due diligence before they actually bought those houses.
Hang on a minute. Shame on the homeowners for not wanting people to be knifed outside their front doors.
There's nothing. Yes, it hurts me when it turns around, and because we've got weak leadership, we then turn and hit the beautiful culture that Carnival emanates. To say that, yes, one death is one death too many. But personally, I believe that if it was to have more community accountability, it would be a lot safer,
Ken.
and we can do our work with those young people who come with the wrong mentality.
Ken, so there were 12 stabbings in 2017, 7 in 2018, 18 in 2019, 7 in 2022, 10 in 23. 2 people died last year. Where does this end? How many stabbings are acceptable?
All unacceptable.
So where does it end?
All unacceptable, and from where I'm sitting, is preventable. Okay. You cannot You cannot police your way out of this. 7,000 police is out. But yes, we need some police, but that's a waste of public money to put 7,000 police into the car.
Last word, Ray.
It's a red letter day for other criminals. In East London, North London, South London, they can do what they want, knowing that all the police are going to be in West London. The perfect comparison is with another similar large event, like, for example, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Same number of people attending over a similar weekend. The Notting Hill Carnival is 35 times more violent, more dangerous. There were over 350 arrests at the Notting Hill Carnival versus 10 at the Platinum Jubilee. There's a very clear issue with the Notting Hill Carnival.
103.
Let alone the fact that the police think there's going to be a genuine
Glastonbury.
There's a genuine risk of there being a multi-casualty event due to overcrowding.
Last word, Ken, really quickly.
It's comparable to Glastonbury and other big events.
There's no machete fights at Glastonbury. There are no stabbings at Glastonbury. Those are low-level crimes.
As I said to you, at the end of the day, we should concentrate on 2 million people coming in. The vast majority is going away with good experience.
In Hyde Park, maybe.
Right. Great. Ken, enjoy yourself this weekend. Hope you stay safe. Someone argued that it needs to be moved, if not cancelled. But appreciate you coming on. Thank you, Rafe, as well. Rafe Heydel-Mankoo. Right, let us know what you think on that. gbnews.com/your say. Will you be going down to the Carnival this weekend?